Wow. You're fed a line and you run with it. Interesting. Let's take a look at it. The peace treaties. First and foremost, they weren't peace treaties necessarily. They were formalizations of relations that had been going on for quite some time. One of the biggest ones that Trump touts is the peace treaty between the UAE and Israel. But the UAE and Israel had been doing business with one another and had relations with one another for years. This was just a formalizing of that relationship. There was no war to call peace on, as was the case within the Balkans. So his peace treaties, really not much to brag about. Now let's talk about that debt. Donald Trump built a national debt so big, even before the pandemic, that it'll weigh down the economy for years. The debt grew by $7.8 trillion during Trump's 4 years in office. The growth of the debt under Trump ranks as the third biggest increase relative to size of the economy of any U.S. presidential administration on record. Now let's deal with you saying that the trade was at an all-time high. When in actuality, America's trade gap soared under Trump. The combined U.S. goods and services trade deficit increased to $679 billion in 2020 compared to $481 billion in 2016 when he was running for office. The trade deficit in goods alone hit $916 billion, a record high, and an increase of about 21% from his election year. The Trump administration never had a feasible plan for reducing the trade deficit. Their 2017 tax cut ensured that the U.S. as a whole would continue to spend more than it produced, hence the need for a current account deficit. The tariffs on China reduced imports from China, but these were mostly replaced by imports from other sources. So while he did reduce the trade deficit with China, we just turned to other countries like Thailand, Vietnam, Taiwan, the Philippines, Malaysia, South Korea, Indonesia, Russia, France, Germany, Ireland, Italy, and Switzerland. I know, my wife kind of lives in that industry. Then you wanted to talk about his all-time unemployment numbers, which, if you look, are a continuation of the unemployment numbers under Obama. The blue line, unemployment under Obama. The red line, unemployment under Trump pre-pandemic. Here it is if you include 2020. And before everybody goes, well, the pandemic, isn't it the president's responsibility to properly respond to a pandemic and get the country through it? Well, the numbers show he failed, just like he fails at everything he does. Congratulations. You made a multi-point comment, and all of it was bullshit.